This video, this message is for the chosen. And I know exactly what you're thinking right now from the title of this video. And there's that person or persons that have done you wrong, right? And you know exactly who I'm talking about when it comes to you. You know what I'm talking about. They completely took you for granted. They took everything from you that was good. And you suffered because of it. They made you feel bad because you did everything right. And they ended up doing everything that was wrong to you. But you know what's funny? You rebuilt yourself back up after what has happened. And you knew you were going to do it the entire time. You knew you were going to do it. As much as it hurt, as much as it stung, you rose above what has happened to you. And they deeply regret what they have done to the chosen one. They could have had it so good. Their life could have been so good with you. But they had to mess it up. They had to do something wrong. They had to do something dirty. And people make mistakes, but there's mistakes and there's crossing the line to the point where you don't get back. Because there's a line you don't cross. And you know what? They probably made mistakes before they crossed the line with you. They probably made those mistakes. And you let them off the hook. But your patience was running thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner for them. Until eventually they cross that line. And, you know, they even figured themselves, you know what, I might even be able to see if I can get back into this person's life down the line if I want to. Because I was able to get them back every other time. But what they don't understand is they cross that line. They cross that line. And it was worse than all the other times, and it made it even worse as it's getting along, because when you start to make mistakes over and over and over again to a special person, what they don't understand is they are becoming less and less and less and less special themselves. You cannot do something like that to a chosen one. In fact, you can't even do this to anybody. And just from my experience in life, the people that have done certain things like this to me, they have become less and less and less and less and less special until they are no longer special at all, until they are no longer of value to me and never will be ever again. And it's because they cross that line. I give people hella chances. You have to do something pretty serious for me to completely remove you, to completely get you out of the picture. You really have to do something very wrong. It's not going to happen over little small stuff. And you know, I'm good with giving chances. I'm good with things like this. But I also know my intuition, and I know the perfect time when to cut somebody off. And it's great life lessons for these people as well that do certain things like this to other people. And I'm not going to get into detail about what it is or what has happened, but you guys know in your own lives and from your own experiences what has happened, and you guys know where I'm coming from. You guys know what I'm talking about. And there's just certain things that you cannot do. And these types of people, it is great life lessons for them. Because then it's going to teach them respect. And some people never learn. That's the thing too. Some people never learn. But you know what? There can be surprisingly good-hearted people that do wrong things to the right people sometimes, and maybe they weren't taught quite good enough from their own upbringing or childhood into their younger years, then into their young adulthood, and then into their adulthood. Maybe they never learned enough lessons. Maybe they weren't taught like respect to a high enough level. And you can be a good teacher to these people, because you could have meant the world to them. They could have meant the world to you, but they might have took you for granted. And that's kind of what this video is about. I'm trying to teach a lesson here. I'm trying to get this clear. Because I know, guys, like, I got done wrong in my life. I got done dirty. I'm not sitting here, like, harping about it. It's not what I want to do. I want to get messages across so people understand exactly where I'm coming from. So even maybe these people can watch this video and understand, like, what this is. And the people that have done me wrong, they did have a soft place and a soft spot in their heart for me, and I know they did. I know they did. And I did mean the world to these people. But there's just something that they weren't taught, that they couldn't, they couldn't just pull it together, do the right things. They had to mess it up. It's like they almost had to mess it up. And it too many times, you mess it up. You can only do so many things like that to a person before you've crossed the line. And unfortunately, some people have crossed the line. And when they cross that line, and then time goes on and you continue to improve yourself, and they try to come back and you don't let them come back, and they know damn well it's serious, they know damn well what they have just lost. It's a great lesson for them too, and they were a great lesson to you. When you start to see signs and early signs of disrespect or disloyalty or anything like this, you're going to cut people off even quicker. So everybody's learning lessons from everybody, everything aligns, and everything is going to be what it's going to be at the end of the day. You have taught these people a lesson. I know I've taught many lessons. And I even believe some people learned at least a little bit. If you have something good and you don't want to lose it, you don't disrespect it, you don't become disloyal to it, you don't disobey it, you don't put yourself in harm's way, like to lose something that is very, very valuable to your life. You don't do it. And a lot of people that do these things are doing it out of fear. A lot of these people don't even know what they're doing half the time. They're like pushing things away themselves, like not even, they're meaning to do it, but it's like they almost can't help it. It's like part of them doesn't want to do it, but they have to do it because of traumas, because of whatever it is. It could be, they could have been in a relationship and they could have got pushed away. Now they're going to get into a new relationship and they're going to push you away. It's things like this. I've had some pretty bad luck in relationships in my life. I've had a couple good ones too that ended on terms that came to an agreement and understood that it has to be this way, and it was no big problem at all. I've learned a lot myself about a lot of things, and it's a blessing. Life is your greatest teacher. Life is a blessing in itself. I wouldn't take back any of these experiences for anything. I'm happy for all of them. I'm happy for the people that have done the things they've done to me, because they have honestly made me into a person I never would have been if they wouldn't have done that to me. I had to be taught those lessons. I had to be, shown the uglier sides of what can actually happen. And it's nothing pretty, but life can get ugly. And when it does, you just gotta get prettier yourself. And when I say that, I mean do the right things. Don't get ugly with life when it gets ugly onto you. When ugly things happen, you don't become that. You don't get more, you don't bring more ugly into the world. You just get prettier. You just get better. You just do the right things. All in all, you do the right things. Stay that good person you are. Don't let any negativity, don't let any of this other stuff bring you down. Don't let any of this other stuff try to force you into being something that you're not, to get back at somebody else because somebody got you. And I know people that have done this. I know people who have got done wrong and then done somebody else wrong and became abusive and stuff like this, and it's just not good. It's honestly a weakness in you. It honestly shows that you can't handle what has happened to you, and you're going to project all this on other people because you were weak. It's not strong, and you were not strong, and you were not tough. So, and there's a difference between doing something like this and defending yourself. So if somebody's like trying to hit you or abuse you in the very moment, and you defend yourself and you stick up for yourself, and you might hit back and you have a little bit of rage back, now that's a different story. But to take things out on innocent people, to do innocent people wrong, it just shows a big weakness in you. And it goes to show how many weak people there are in this world to do the things that they do to other people. All the people that have done me wrong, in the moments they have done this, they were weak. They were weak. To do something like that to me, you're weak. To do something, what has been done to you guys, the people that have done you guys wrong, that's watching this video, the chosen ones, these people were weak when they did what they did to you. They were weak. They couldn't help but to do what they did to you. And they might have made you weaker, because when you're around weak people, you are what you surround yourself with. You become that. You have to be careful. I don't care. I'm not going around people like who are acting happy and charming and all this stuff. Like, is that stuff good? Okay, yeah, but it's like, show me who you are. Show me what kind of a conversation we can have when we sit down from across the table. Show me how down to earth you are. I don't care how smiley and laughy and giggly and charming and how super good looking you are. Those things can play a factor, but it's some of the last things on my list to this day. Because if you have those things but your personality is junk, you're not down to earth, you're just sort of a mindless person, you have no qualities, you have no sense of yourself, you're just this loose cannon, but you have all the looks, and you can charm people, you can get close to me, you can give me those eyes that will mesmerize a person. That doesn't even turn me on to this day, and it used to when I was younger. I used to get sucked into things so much easier whenever I was younger. The looks, the smile a particular girl would give me, the way she would come towards me. Like, I remember all these things, and if that was me now, I would just look at the girl and like, and you know how I know I would just look at the girl and not even give it a reaction or not even be the slightest bit turned on or anything? Because these things continue to happen to me, and I saw through it. This isn't, she doesn't feel this way towards me. She's doing this as manipulation. I used to take it as if she looked at me like this. Not only that, because they might a little bit at least, but it's like, it's more so to benefit them. It's more so to suck you in, to reel you into their game. And these types of people won't just do this to just anybody, and that's why I say, yeah, they might like you to a certain extent, but it's like, It's more so as manipulation. I need somebody who's going to spark my soul. I need somebody who's going to do something like that, instead of you're just going to come up to me and be superficial and use your looks and your charm and stuff like this to try to seduce me, to try to make me weaker. It's not going to happen. I ain't going to get weak. I ain't going to let any female make me weak. I'm going to stay strong in my frame, and that's how it's going to be. We can sit at the table, we can have a conversation, we can do all those things. And I'm going to stay real, and I'm going to stay raw, and I'm going to stay myself. And I ain't going to let anything get me weak like I used to when I was younger. I was younger and I was weaker. And I still, like, I felt like I was still a strong lad back then, but I just lacked awareness. I lacked the knowledge, the experience. I was still strong-minded in ways, but I looked at things the wrong way. I thought, like, let's say a certain female was somebody that she wasn't. I thought, like, I just thought wrong about people, I feel. Until I started to learn about people, I started to learn about psychology, I started to learn why things are the way they are. I started to learn why people do the things that they do. And life got a lot better since then, I'll tell you that much. A lot better. Because a good life is not getting screwed over by other people and being set back and being, like, left for dead. Feeling like people just, like, have ownership over you because of what they did. Because when somebody does you wrong, you're going to feel like they took a piece of you. And that's where the narcissist abuse comes into play. You feel like they took a big, big, big piece out of you. They played you. And they got that win over you, and it sucks. Because they gained that power. And they carried on with their life, and they left you for dead, as if you were nothing, as if you never existed. And you realize right then and there how much they cared about you. And you realize how much you cared about them, which was a lot, because you cared about a person that didn't even exist. And that is a very hard reality to deal with in that very moment, and for another little bit. So you basically have to carry on with your life as if that situation with that specific person did not exist, and you just get better from there, and you keep the ball rolling, and you learn from your mistakes. I learned from my mistake. I don't blame this on the person 100%. I blame a part of myself. I don't blame myself, but it's like I put myself there. I allowed it to happen. Even though I didn't know what was happening, I still let it happen. I still did. And since I learned from that, since I put blame on myself at least a little bit, I hold myself accountable. Because if I blame this person and just think I'm perfect and stuff like this, it's probably going to happen to me again and again and again. Since I'm accountable, when you're accountable for your mistakes, you can learn from them. If you're not accountable for your mistakes and you just blame all these people for doing what they do to you, maybe there is something wrong with you. Maybe you lack the knowledge. Maybe you lack something. You know? And it could be more serious things that you're lacking instead of the knowledge. I felt I only was missing knowledge, and I was a bit naive, and like, of course you're going to get fooled coming into the world, because when people are that good at acting, they're going to catch you off guard. And like I say in videos, there's no way it could happen to me ever again. There's still that 0.1% chance that it could. Or even that 1% chance that it could. There is a percentage of a chance. I don't know what it would be, but there is. There just is. People can do that. People can flip a script on you like you never seen. You could have hit it off so good with this new girl or this new guy that you're talking to, right? And it could be going perfect. You see no red flags. You see no signs. Everything's going good. You take them on a date. You start to go on more dates. You start to get closer to each other, and all of a sudden, boom. You're cut off. Boom. Something happens. And it wasn't even, you did nothing wrong. Like, it's all on this person. it's something that has to do with them. And once again, you got screwed. So anything really can happen, and I do not like when things like this happen, but it's possible, and you have to be prepared. If you shouldn't be like worried about it and stuff if you're talking to somebody new, but like what I'm gonna say is, if it happens, prepare. Like as soon as it happens and you feel bad, you feel the effects from what just happened in the situation you got yourself in, prepare to start moving different in life right away. Boss up and keep doing the right things, as much as it might hurt. If you boss up and you do tough things, you do things that's going to make you stronger, you'll have no problem getting yourself out of that situation and carry on with your life, and better things will happen. So that's basically it for this video. I have another one to do, so I'll get to that one next. And if you guys have any video requests or anything like that, feel free to share it in the comments section. They had to be pretty good ones for me to do. Just because you share a video request doesn't mean it's going to happen. If it's a good topic, it's going to happen, I'll tell you that. Because there's just too many requests up to this point on the channel. So it has to be a good one. And I have a lot more good topics for you guys as well coming. So we'll get it all.